as you know, Mutapa Investment Fund is our sovereign wealth fund. And the reason for having all these entities put under Mutapa is to ensure that there is good corporate governance. There is good corporate governance that will ensure that these various parastatals or government entities actually make more money. And when they make money, the dividends, that money can then be put into the sovereign wealth fund. So just to give you a synopsis, yesterday we were at ZISCO Steel. And ZISCO Steel on the 20th of March was, in terms of SI 58 of 2026, ZISCO Steel was transferred to Mtapa. And when it was transferred to Mtapa, it was to ensure that Mutapa can then make ZISCO Steel into an economic enabler and resuscitate it from its dead status. So just to tell you what happened yesterday, we did a tour of ZISCO Steel and we spoke with the management. And as a result of that, we noted that ZISCO Steel has obsolete infrastructure. It's rusty. It has magnificent infrastructure, from the blast furnaces to the coke reactors to the gas pipes. But all that equipment is old, rusty. And also, in terms of technological advancement, that infrastructure was built a long time ago. So it is our view that it will be impossible to resuscitate that infrastructure in its current state. But Mutapa has come in less than 2 months ago, and they are making their own assessment. And we want to leave them to make that assessment as to whether they can resuscitate ZISCO Steel. So we are not going to jump the gun and say, no, Mutapa cannot resuscitate ZISCO Steel. They heard what we said. They heard what the management said. They heard the challenges, and we saw the infrastructure, and we noted that that infrastructure would need to be changed completely. But we have learned, and we have expertise, and we have people who have been with Mutapa for a very long time. So with ZISCO Steel for a very long time. So what we aspire as Parliament and as a Public Accounts Committee is that ZISCO Steel makes money that will be put into the sovereign wealth fund. ZISCO Steel used to employ 5,000 plus people. And when they employed 5,000 plus people, those 5,000 plus people had families and secondary families. So it means that multitudes, thousands of people benefited from that ZISCO Steel. Also, Redcliffe Council said that 60% of their revenue came from ZISCO Steel. 40% came from residents. But now that 60% of revenue is gone. And ZISCO Steel owes about $15 million to the council, which is part of its debt. The debt that ZISCO Steel has. We noted they have a foundry at the site where they are making iron hammers. And they said they make something like 36,000, I think. They can make 36,000 a week if they are in full capacity. So maybe they should be moving towards that. And they also have some coke reactors, which they say if they are funded to the tune of 5 to 10 million, they can resuscitate their coke reactors and they can be good for making chemicals. So companies like Sebo Chemicals can benefit and we can get. So they need to refocus as ZISCO Steel. They need to refocus and find what they are good at. Because if you look now, we've got Manize who are producing steel. And there is no way that as a government entity they are going to get the funding such as that Manize has. These fact-finding missions will help Parliament, which is the legislative body and the representative body of the people of the citizens of Zimbabwe, to ascertain whether the laws that we have been making, for example, the laws that protect Mutapa from any procurement laws, the laws that made sure we have a sovereign fund, whether these entities that have been put by the government into Mutapa are going to hold any dividends. Because at the end of the day, what we want is money that is going to be put into the pot of the country for the sake of the future of this country. Our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren must benefit from the sovereign wealth fund. So ours is to probably look at Mutapa as an entity and its subsidiaries and its companies and say, are these going to bear dividends to the people of Zimbabwe? So we're on a fact-finding mission. Other than sitting in Parliament and hearing, we've got 60 companies that are under Mutapa that are supposed to pour into some pot in our sovereign wealth fund. So now we are looking at ourselves. So we have been to ZISCO Steel and we have ticked, no, these people probably can't give anything to the country, rather they need rescue themselves. But however, maybe Mutapa can come a smart way that they can actually make this company give something back to this country. The positives which we are seeing now is that these failing companies or parastatals are now being made to change their whole corporate governance system. And it's, Rome was never built in a day. But what we have seen now is that there is now proper professionalism in government, where these companies are being forced to act in terms of the Constitution and also in terms of the Corporate Governance Public Entities Act, and act professionally to do the job they're supposed to be doing, other than being cash cows for a few people who are corrupt and misuse our parastatals for their own good. So just this brief time that Mutapa has been there, we have seen a lot of a seismic shift in terms of corporate governance, which will begin to yield dividends and profit to all these entities for the future of this country. Privatization means that you are putting these entities into someone's pocket who wants to make a profit for them, not for the good of the country, but for their own good and their shareholders. So Mutapa is owned by the government. So we know that if Mutapa professionalizes these entities, they will become professional, and whatever dividends they yield will come back to benefit the people of Zimbabwe, not the few rich people who will be owning these companies as private entities. I think our recommendations will be implemented because we are serious about getting this job done, and we will not, and as long as I am the chairperson of that committee, I will leave nothing to chance. I will make sure that whatever recommendations we give come back from the treasury's treasury minutes and we follow them through. So we are serious about ensuring that this country moves forward and that all these entities actually benefit the people of this country.